Hello and welcome everyone, Rufus Shinra from the Shinra Corporation, back with the second part of the RSL Helper tutorial video. Thank you very much for the support that you've been showing. You've been incredible, and for that I will be eternally grateful. If you haven't watched part 1, please go and do it. It's very important so that you can get started and that you know what the tool does in general. Now, if you have, sit tight, grab a drink, and click off all these pesky offers. And we'll be going through the different Autoclicker features for the different modes, and hopefully you will be able to know more about the tool, what it does in general. We'll also showcase some speed rolling for gear and the new feature that was added to help you progress through the Doom Tower. So without any further ado, let's check it out. Okay, so first we start with the multi-battle or the Autoclicker feature. So in this screen, there are different sections. There is this section here, where you can see which team you used last. In this case, I just ran Clan Boss, so you can see my Clan Boss team. It gives you a lot of neat information, so whether or not the champions are booked, how many books they have, how many scrolls they have, are they maxed in scrolls, what are their current stats, and so on and so forth. The main part you want to pay attention to is this one, because this is where you will be setting up your run. Again, this is where you just go to the Autoclicker section. You can either set a fixed amount of runs, so I think the maximum now is 1000. It used to be 999. You can go for a fixed amount of event points. Say, for example, you're running a spider tournament, you can and you don't want to go over the limit that is needed to get the maximum prize. You could ask RSL Helper to run this dungeon until you get 2700 points. Of course, it's still dependent on your energy, so if you run out of energy before reaching the target, it will obviously stop. Well, not technically stop, it will keep trying to run the fight, and you could possibly get in 1 or 2 fights with the natural energy that regenerates, but basically that's the idea. So it will go until you reach 2700 points. The other option is number of tier 3 potions, which we will show also. This is for the dungeon, for the keeps, for the potion keeps. So if you're looking for to farm, let's say, the arcane potions, you just need 10 potions. You could tell it that I want 10 potions, and once it will farm that amount, it will stop farming. So that's also another thing that we can do. Here, let me get this off the way. Good. Start time. So this is a feature that allows you to decide if you keep your computer on and you want to program a specific start time for the farming. You can do it. So let's say I'm going to bed, I wanted to start farming at midnight, and then apply all the other options. It can do it. This is something that I don't use often, but it's pretty nifty. Multi-level XP, all to max XP, first to max, all these are options for your food farming, and it's something that we will show in a different section. All Minotaur scrolls, this is for when you're farming the Minotaur, for example, and you want to keep farming that dungeon until the character that you're building up gets all their scrolls. Run effective resources, this is the main feature that I use. So what it means is that whatever resource is needed to run the dungeon, RSL Helper will keep running that dungeon until that resource is out. So if we're talking about campaign or dungeons, it's obviously energy. However, if we're talking about faction wars, or if we're talking about Clan Boss or Doom Tower, it will keep doing it based on the keys that you have. So this is a very nice addition, meaning that you can basically let the game consume all the resources you want for a particular piece of content until it's depleted. Shut down when finished. You can click this if you want RSL Helper to turn off the computer when everything is done, if you don't want to leave your computer running. Auto refill, this consumes refills that you have in the inbox whenever your energy is depleted. And AutoForge is something that we've seen yesterday, so you can go back to the first tutorial video to see how this feature works, but basically allows you to forge automatically. Then you have the Autocell options. So we've touched briefly on it on the first video, but basically what it does is it allows you to determine how your artifacts are sold automatically whenever you acquire new ones. So since we're going to do an example on the spider dungeon, let's see. So I'm going to just showcase 20 for this example. You can do it basically on any level you want. So for dungeon 20, I don't want epic pieces, 5-star epic pieces, so I want legendary. So I'll tell it to sell anything that is epic and under. And I will tell it to sell anything that is rare and under, because I still could find some nice pieces, some nice 6-star epic or legendary pieces. Then you can ask it to sell all flat attack amulets if you don't want to keep any. I personally would like to check them out manually first, because there might be some substats I need. Banners, you could ask it to keep all banners with accuracy main stat regardless of the filtering options that you put up here. So if the amulet or if the banner has accuracy as their main stat, it will keep it. And also you could ask it to keep all banners with speed substats regardless of the main stat, rarity or number of stars. The boots option is not relevant to the spider dungeons, but again you could ask it to keep all speed boots if you want to. Then here is a cell test. This is something that we will get to. It's a very new feature. It can allow you to see if your filters work properly. Let's say, for instance, here I want to check whether or not all my 6-star epic banners will be sold or not. So let's click on cell check. It tells me that the item is kept. If I tell it that it's a rare item, item is sold. So this is just to make sure that you are using the proper filters. It's not a mandatory feature, you don't need to use it, and it does not affect how RSL helper will run. It's just basically there for you to help you verify if your options are set correctly, which is again a very nice thing to have, because you don't want to waste energy before knowing that you have had the wrong presets all along. Then in this section here you can set default values for rings. For instance, I want to keep my attack rings with attack percentage stats, defense rings with defense percentage stats, and HP rings with HP percentage stats. The rest I don't want to keep. So for instance, if I get an attack ring without an attack percentage stats, it will automatically sell it. If I get a defense ring without a defense percentage or an HP ring without an HP percentage substats, RSL helper will automatically sell it. This is huge in my opinion, because it saves you a ton of time when it comes to gear cleansing. If you farm this way, you will be doing minimal gear cleansing and you will be keeping just the items you need. Great feature. So and as a matter of fact, this will be the first time I'm testing it, because this was just added in the latest update. Now back to the Autoclicker. So I activated my Autocell. This is again not mandatory. I will activate, let's ask it to run, maybe do 5 runs just to showcase the example, and I will press play. Before pressing play, there is one thing you need to know. If you have just started Raid Shadow Legends, if you have just started RSL Helper, you will need to do a dry run first. Anything counts. You can do a campaign run, you can do an arena, you can do a dungeon run, just for it to get initialized. Once you do that, then you can use the automatic features, because sometimes you will launch RSL Helper, you will go directly and click on play, and nothing will happen. So it's not a bug, it's just that how it works. So keep that in mind. Do one manual run. Anything is okay. You can just come here and do one run on Spider, then you can come and press play. Okay, so let's see it in action. You press play, it automatically starts everything. The run goes on. This should be sold automatically. As you can see, it is the case. We'll do a couple more runs before ending the example, but it's working exactly as intended. Normally, if we get a ring, and hopefully we will, we'll see the feature in action. So this banner should be automatically sold. I don't want to keep any 5-star banners. unless they're legendaries, of course, and with at least a speed substat or something that I can use on any of my teams. So this probably should be the last run in the example. Boom, boom. Ah, man, we didn't even get one rank, but as you can see from the proof of concept, the auto setting feature works wonders. You can even reduce the gap between each repeat of each run in the settings, but I prefer to keep the default settings because they're working quite well. And up until recently, I don't know if they fixed it or not, but there was an issue with the regular multi-battles for Plarium, where your AI settings would not apply if you would run multi-battles. I noticed it because I run multi-battles a few times, and it seemed to derail my comps immediately. But with RSL Helper, since you're just basically replaying as if you were doing it manually, that issue is not present. So there's that too. Alright, so this should be the last run probably. Let's go back because there's a countdown. Yeah, number of runs 0, so this should be the last run. Oh, it will keep on running because I'm asking it to reach a certain amount of points, so that's my mistake. Let's take away this condition, and then I will stop the runs. Another thing I'd like to point out is this screen right here, report screen. So there we can see the average run time. It says 17 seconds. The number of wins versus losses, so it's 8 wins out of 8 battles, meaning this comp is so far 100%. Cost per run, the specific name of the area we're running, this is Spider Cave 20, and the total runtime for the 8 runs, which is 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So if you're testing out a comp and you would like to see that farming comp is 100% for a specific stage, you can always come back after you let it run a few thousand points of energy and see exactly how it did. This is also great when you're tuning your comps and making sure that you have the best success rate for a comp. You could have a comp that's not extra fast, but as long as it's reliable, you could leave RSL farming overnight or farming over a long period of time, and then you can come back and collect your rewards, and you will be sure that you would have minimal loss of artifacts per energy. So that's for the dungeon running feature. So now I'll showcase briefly how it does on potion keeps, and we'll go to the Doom Tower next. Now for the potion keeps, I'll do a quick test on stage 20. So let's say I want to farm until I have at least 3 greater potions from the Arcane Keep. I don't care about the Autocell. I could leave it on. It won't affect anything, but that's it. So I'll just click play, and it will keep on running the dungeon until I have my 3 potions, because I do need some, to be honest. I'll speed up the run here so that you don't go through the whole thing, and we'll see. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so it turns out we had some pretty nice luck. So we got our 3 potions right out of the get-go, and as you can see, the number was reduced to 0 from 3, and it stopped running the dungeon. So you could always use the run effective resources if you want to go ham on energy on those potion keeps, but you get the concept. So now onto Doom Tower to show you the really nice new feature for Doom Tower progression. Okay, so now onto the Doom Tower. What I will be showcasing here is an amazing feature. This basically runs Doom Tower for you. So if you've gone around doing Doom Tower on normal or on hard rotation, and you've got your comp set up, you know exactly how to deal with each stage, at least with each early floor stages, it can be a little bit tedious to go, click, wait for the comp to finish, then click onto the next, sometimes redo the stages. All of that is a thing of the past with RSL Helper. So now all you need to do is start Doom Tower run, pick up wherever you left off, select the stage you want to run. Here, for instance, I'm taking floor 8, and you make sure to have the run effective resources option selected. That's the only one you need, and then click play. So what RSL Helper will be doing here is simply amazing. It will run the floor that you're on, If it defeats the enemies, if it clears the floor, then it will move to the next. If it doesn't, it will rerun this floor with the same team, because sometimes there is a little bit of RNG involved, especially with those CFE double rotos waves or the Tormin waves or the Mortar waves. You know that your team can do it, but you just got to try it a couple of times. Another example is for these rare secret rooms where you need to run it a pretty significant amount of times with the same team, hoping for those stun procs. Not anymore. So here RSL Helper will just keep doing it. As you can see, I didn't do anything, so it just moved on to the next stage. It will knock it off, and once the stage is done, it will simply stop and wait for me to take care of the boss stage. How cool is that? I personally love the feature, and again, this is something really new that came up with the latest version of RSL Helper, and it will hopefully be very useful for you as well. I will definitely be using it from now on every single Doom Tower runs I do. Okay, so here we're just about to finish this team. Let's see what's gonna happen. So we'll be reaching the boss floor, and it's waiting for me. So it stopped running automatically, and it's waiting for me to take care of this boss. Again, if you want to set this boss on farm, it's as easy as what we've done for the dungeons. Same thing, run effective resources. Once you click play, it will just keep on hitting the boss. And the cool thing is it picks your specific team for the boss. It relies on the preset team that's already registered in Raid. As you can see, this is not the same team that I've used to clear the waves earlier. It kept the team that was successful into clearing this boss. So you get the principle. You just need to go to the Doom Tower, select, use, run effective resources, go back to the latest stage you left off at, and then click play, and the rest will be taken care of by RSL Helper. Amazing feature. Okay, so this does it for the Doom Tower. I will stop my auto runs here, and I will move on and show you how the fast rolling for Artifact works. Okay, so now into the Artifact screen, and I just realized that my Tronda was missing her beautiful gauntlets. I think I put them on maybe Kale or one of the rare champions, because I was using them to clear one of the secret rooms. So we'll correct that real quick, and then we'll move on to showing you how those artifacts roll. So yeah, it was Kale, definitely. This is a pretty sweet piece I have here on my Tronda. Kale, I'm sorry, it's not that you're unworthy, but you kinda are. Alright, so how does the speed artifact rolling work? Again, you don't have to do much. So there is an option here called auto detection. This is a very smart thing added. So you have two ways of doing it. You can either click auto detection and you're done, or you can go and set the frames per second manually. So let's start with the easy option. Auto detection is selected on. I don't have to do anything else. It's just selected, and Raid Shadow Legends Helper is running in the background. I will go pick up any piece. Let's take this one. I will click upgrade. Let's run it to level 8, for instance. And look at the speed at which it runs. It's the same principle as software like Riva Tuna that was showcased by, I think, Stu Gaming a while ago, or other people. So what it does, it lowers the frame rate of Raid Shadow Legends to 10 frames per second, which allows you to run the artifacts much faster. As you can see, this is an insta roll to 8. I'm not gonna keep this piece, but it was just as an example. Let's take a piece that's worth keeping so that I could roll it to 16. And yeet the silver just for you guys, just so that you could see it. Alright, so I'll take this piece to 16. Normally I wouldn't, but I'll do it for the sake of the example. Hopefully it will triple roll speed, who knows. Even if it doesn't, it's alright. So success, 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 fail, success. This goes blindly fast. Imagine if you had to wait for this to complete on a regular manner. It would take ages. So from the moment I started rolling this piece up until the moment it will reach level 16, it must have taken maybe less than 30 or 40 seconds. Again, it's all RNG dependent, so it will not affect the success rate or anything, but oh gosh. Now that's an example of what's bad about this game, the fail rate, the amount of silver it consumes. So, but again, it does it so fast and so quick that there is no comparison whatsoever with what you were doing before. Now, what happens is that with this option, with the auto detection of frame rate, it will turn the frame rate to 10 frames per second when you're in the upgrade screen. As soon as you exit it, let's look back again at Ray Child Legends, it's back at 60 frames per second, which is the default. So you don't have to do anything anymore besides that. Again, you have the options of toggling the frame rate manually, either by clicking here or by using a keyboard shortcut. So you have hotkeys. You can set up a hotkey for toggling the frame rate. I could, for instance, set it up to 1. The 1 button in my computer keyboard, and whenever I will press number 1, it will toggle the frame rate to the minimum. But again, I don't need to do that. The automatic detection does everything for me, so I'll leave it to default. And that's it. So this concludes the second part of the tutorial, where I showed you basically the most important features. The rest I am fairly confident you can figure them out for yourself. There's just one last part about the automatic food swapping, so I'll do that in a future video just for the sake of time, not to make everything too long, but you get the picture. Hope that this was informative to you. I hope that this will spark your interest into RSL Helper, because I definitely cannot play Raid anymore without this bad boy. So thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. This is always a nice thing to see. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Also, if there are any aspects of the game you would like me to address more in detail, guides, arena push, the new Doom Tower, so let me know about that as well. I'm looking forward to the new rotation of the Doom Tower, which should probably be out in a few minutes. So as soon as I get my hands on that rotation, as soon as we start hitting the bosses, I will be giving my take on those and sharing some of the strats that I come about or that are shared with me for sure. Thanks again for tuning in. This was Rufus Shinra showcasing RSL Helper. Thank you, Mr. Farbstoff, for it, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.